So the Republican National Committee announced this week it's raised $8.2 million in the month of November alone, the most they've ever raised during the month of November during a non-election year. This also puts the RNC $2.5 million ahead of the DNC for that month. Joining us from Florida right now is RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, tells us that the DNC is slated to close out the year a few $1 million in debt, while the RNC is going to close out the year in a surplus. Can you explain the why of that for us?
That's absolutely right. It's two things. One, it's our management. We know how to spend money wisely. But secondly, and more importantly, it's this fuel of small donors who are enthusiastic about President Trump, who gave us a record-breaking non-election year. And you look at our cash on hand, as you mentioned, we have $40 million cash on hand. DNC, of course, you mentioned the debt that they have. We have 7 times the amount of cash on hand advantage. And we attribute that to President Trump and the hard work of Chairwoman McDaniel.
So this is all good news, undoubtedly, for the RNC, but there is a rub from my perspective, which is that during the 2016 general election, as you know very well, Hillary Clinton outraised then candidate Trump to the tune of many millions of dollars and lost anyway. And I think the Republican Party as a whole sort of very skillfully made the argument that, look, money is certainly not everything and money doesn't determine future successes. So I would ask you, now that you're in the other seat, which is it? Does money matter a lot in these elections or not as much as we think it does?
Well, Julian, it matters, certainly, because it's an indicator of enthusiasm, particularly when you're looking at those small donor numbers and the fact that the RNC is raking in small donors, donations of $250 or less at a rate that we never have before. So that, to me, is a positive indicator. But you are absolutely right to point out that money doesn't win you an election. President Trump proved that. What wins you an election are congressional results, putting more money in the American taxpayers' pocket, having an infrastructure bill that's successful, immigration reform. These are the types of things that are going to make that money sail to electoral victory.
What about, though, the recent loss in Alabama? How do you sort of explain what happened there?
Yeah, Alabama was a special case. It was an aberrational sort of election with a lot of extenuating circumstances, as we know. But that's the importance of candidate selection, having a candidate that's viable, that can make it through a general election. We hope Doug Jones will work with us on the Hill and help us achieve some of those congressional results that I mentioned.
So I think Dems, it's fairly safe to say, are pretty fired up, rallied around their opposition to President Trump going into the midterm elections. That's the fire in their belly. What is that fire in the belly for Republicans? What's uniting the party right now?
Conservatism, the idea that President Trump has achieved more in a year than really, I would argue, any Republican president of my time, and certainly going back to Reagan. He's achieved so much in terms of rescinding regulation, in terms of tax cuts, immigration, repealing and replacing Obamacare with the repeal of that individual mandate. What's binding us is a president of action and a party of action. And you know that scene in the Rose Garden where you had Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and the president all standing there celebrating tax cuts. That's the kind of Republican unity we need around a conservative agenda to prevail in 2018.
And if you guys don't do as well as you hope, do you guys at the RNC are focused on contingency planning? You know, what if the worst case scenario comes to be, which as far as I can see is if you lose the House, right? Have you gamed out strategy then for 2018, or are you not even, do you not think that way?
We're optimistic. We're focused on the fight that we have ahead. You're right to point out that it's going to be a hard fight. There's no doubt about that, especially we know midterms after the first 2 years of a new presidency are historically difficult. So we're not underestimating the challenge for sure, but we're optimistic because we see the enthusiasm. We see the record-breaking small donations. So we're not gaming out a loss. We are planning for a win.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we hope to have you back soon. Kayleigh McEnany from the RNC, thanks so much for your time today.